That's the best Brussels sprout that I've ever had. Oh! Whoa! That's a work of art.
That was good. Let's do one more. Hi, I'm Matt Moran, and welcome to Kitchen Tales. There's nothing I like more than catching up with mates while I cook for them in my kitchen, where all the best stories are told.
Yeah, right. Give me your hat.
There we go, like that.
There you go. Even Matt Moran makes mistakes.
Makes mistakes, I do.
No!
So join us in the kitchen. I'm looking forward to sharing their kitchen tales with you. It's better than I thought, actually.
Look at that, and the cat's helping.
This episode, not one, not two, but three guests. They're all brothers. Now, Tom is a farmer, and I really wanted him on Kitchen Tales to hear his story. It's quite interesting. But when I invited him, I got the other two lesser-known brothers as part of the package. Now, I think they might be a little bit of trouble, and you might recognise them. They're here now. I'll go and get them.
Oh, hey.
How are you, mate?
Well, look what the cat dragged in.
Hey, mate. How you doing, buddy? How are you, mate?
Hey,
You well?
nice
You
to see
you. Mate, and
Yeah,
I
bought something for
What'd
you.
you bring? A beer?
Just a share. I love that beer.
How are you, mate?
Very nice to
meet
meet you, Matt.
Mate, I can't believe we could have had such a nice afternoon except for these two guys.
Hey, he brought you a nice expensive bottle
Oh,
of
was
red.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
Yeah,
thank
nice
you.
expensive bottle of beer.
I bought nothing.
Have you tried that Brick Lane?
I have actually. It's pretty good, isn't it? Guys, grab a seat over
Can't
here.
wait. I'll take the seat in front of the...
You get in the middle.
yeah, chips are.
Well, it's not how it's meant to be because you're the youngest, Tom.
Correct.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be. That's right. Pete wants to be.
Centre of attention always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about? Why are you so angry? Have a chip, man.
The chips are actually for something else, but anyway, you can have one now.
Delicious. I haven't had any breakfast.
So what generally happens is whoever I have on the show, I ring them a couple of weeks prior, find out what they like, what they dislike, what they grew up with. But because there's three of you, I thought, all too hard. Let's just go straight to the source. So I gave Jenny a call.
Oh, no.
And Jenny was really interesting because she's obviously a grandmother now, and she just says it how it is and didn't sort of hold back at all and said.
Did she set you a challenge at all? She could.
She did set me a challenge actually, and we'll get to that one a little bit later. And I'm a little bit nervous about it because it's something I haven't done for a while. She said to me that she used to make great tuna bakes.
Oh, yes.
And I thought about it. I thought, you know what, I just can't do it. So I got
it's too hard.
It's not too hard. I just thought, you know what, it's just, there's too many old-fashioned things. And I just thought, you know what, I'll get some tuna. So I've got a little bit of tuna, and this is just to snack on with the chips.
Oh, yum.
So I was going to do something, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I just thought this morning, bugger, I'm just going to do a fresh tartare. That's just got chilli in it, cucumber, fresh tuna, a little bit of chives, limes. I've got some pickled onion there that I was using for something else the other day, and I just tried to get rid of it. So I thought, how can I get rid of it? Three boys. Leftovers.
She used to do a similar thing at the end of the week with everything that was in the fridge, and it was called Bubble and Squeak.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Yeah,
Fry. Yeah. Are you frying this, or is that?
No, mate, this is just good.
Fresh
good fresh tuna. Raw. You're a farmer, Tom.
Yep.
You've got an almond farm, single origin almond farm. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my partner Jenna,
Yep.
her family owns the almond orchard.
Yep.
They planted their first trees 17 years ago, and Jenna and I were going back to the farm, while we were living in Sydney.
Yep.
Frequently, and going back and sampling some of Tootie, my mother-in-law's recipes, and we were just blown away by them. And one of which was almond milk that she'd make fresh for us every morning. And
Yeah, wow.
basically go out the back door, pluck the almonds off the trees, and then make this milk. And we were just totally gobsmacked by it. It wasn't like anything we've tried before. It was full flavour. It's like this memory attached to this piece of food or beverage rather. And Jenna and I just looked at each other and said, we got to get this. We got to share this. It was full flavour. Tastes like almond milk. Tastes like almonds. And particularly the industry too is incredibly active and motivated towards sustainability. So we love that story. We really love what Annette was doing in the kitchen with the almond milk, and we thought we've got to give this a go. So that influenced our move out there.
I'm going to be really honest with you. During COVID, I got some of your almond milk sent, and I'm going to show you, no word of a lie, It's not still there. But it is used.
It's a fresh batch.
It's used every day.
Oh, wow.
It's used every day.
Thank
So
you.
you've sort of converted a
great
lot
to
of
hear.
my family. Now, I think your mum told me that you hate Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, because they're like they came out grey and soft, like nothing like that.
That's what we're
I
eating.
didn't know that they were that's what they were like because they'd come. You'd never see them in the fridge because
Yeah.
she'd have them on for 4 hours before you got home from school.
Yeah.
And they'd be on the stove and they'd come out and there was just this matter.
And gas.
I thought they were lamb's brains because they had that consistency and that this colour is awful.
Horrible. And they set off a gas. Have you ever been to a Brussels sprout farm? You walk in there and you open the door and the smell is unbelievable. It's so
Awful.
gassy and horrible. And I remember I did a story on it years ago on Paddock Plain. I got up and the guy, I said, "Oh, mate, that smell." He goes, "I can't smell anything."
Yeah. There's a great story with Pete and I when sitting at the dinner table whenever Mum used to cook the Brussels sprouts, and we used to be the last two people sitting at the table,
Yeah.
and she wouldn't let us leave the table until we finished our meal, right?
Yeah, right.
And obviously the Brussels sprouts were last. So Pete became very creative as to where he could hide the Brussels sprouts around the table, under the pepper and salt shakers, so he could get
Put them in my pocket sometimes. Walk out to the garden and throw them in there.
I heard that she, when you used to finish at night and you'd put your cutlery down, you try to hide stuff under the cutlery all the
under
time.
the knives and forks. Yeah.
She wasn't a great cook. She wasn't.
No,
That's what I say. She got better the older she gets.
I'd like to see you hide that under your plate.
There's
yeah.
no need to that. Just goes straight
Look
in
at
the throat,
that.
mate.
So
Goes straight in the throat.
this is a piece of dry aged T-bone. This is Moran's beef that comes from the farm. So we send in 3 carcasses every fortnight, and we dry age it, and we only sell it at one place, which is the chop house. So that is no grain whatsoever. It's been dry aging, and the marbling in that is pretty. You can see the fat, and that fat is it's got that nice yellow colour to it, so it's got a bit of grass
See,
in it.
I'm well interested to see what you do with this because he is.
I'm not
He's
cooking
good.
that.
He's good. You're not cooking that?
I'm cooking Brussels sprouts. Mate, that's for me for dinner. Come on.
We're going to show us how to do it anyway because he's good. He's good at
Good at
cooking.
me,
He's
yeah.
good at me.
Who's
Yeah.
good?
I'm
Karl.
good at me, yeah. I like a real. I like flame
How
on.
would you do that? How would you?
So
do
I'd
that?
go flame on, like both sides, until it was,
Hot?
until
On
it was
a barbie?
On a barbie.
But what sort of barbie?
Like anything that you get to generates a lot of heat. So I like the flame.
Like gas?
Six
Gas.
gas.
See,
Yeah.
that's where you've gone wrong already.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the luxury of having one of those, those green egg things. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I've got one outside.
A
big green
big
egg.
one. Yeah. So I could green egg, or even an Argentinian grill. But even if I'm at the farm, I just get a couple of bricks and build a fire and put a grill over it,
Yeah.
and always barbecue on it. Once I've got a gas barbecue out there that I haven't used for 8 years, and I'm
Yeah,
ripping
right.
it out and I'm building a new sort of kitchen out there. Once you go with charcoal or wood,
Yeah.
you never go back, because that gas barbecue, all the
Stuff.
the fumes come off it and it smells. But when you
Tastes
get
pretty good to me,
when you
doesn't
get beautiful.
So I'd flame it
Let's
and then
see
I'd
how we
rest
go.
it.
Yeah. You'd be like what the connoisseurs with the wine, detecting the notes of blackberries
Yeah.
and plums and stuff like that. I don't even know that stuff. So that's
just know if
the
it's heating
nitty
your
gritty
mouth
we're
or not.
getting into here with me.
I
I
would
just know it
normally-
tastes good.
I would normally salt that for at least an hour or two beforehand. And the reason being is salt draws out moisture, so when you actually fry it, it'll give you a much better crust. So we're just going to roast that. That's the fillet there, which is a nice soft bit, and that's the sirloin. I can keep that fat on because it'll render it down.
I
a
love
bit.
the fat.
I've got this is my favourite way to cook Brussels sprouts. I've just blanched them.
I
boiled
can't
in
even
water.
look at them. I don't believe that I'm going to be able to taste it.
You wait, right? I promise you, Karl.
Not for a sec. I hate it.
Bad memories.
Yeah, mate, I don't want you walking away and saying, Matt Moran cooked me a meal and it was shit house.
Sylvia roasts Brussels sprouts pretty well.
Wow.
Turn me around.
Bit of bacon,
I'm back. Yeah.
bit of vinegar.
Yeah.
I feel sick just looking at them.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't,
you
I don't
wait.
think I've had one since I left home.
Right, so these are just blanched, so they're only part cooked, and I've dried them as much as I possibly can, and we're going to deep fry them. Anything you can deep fry tastes good. And I've got a sauce. Now this sauce is shallots, ginger and garlic, cooked right down. It's like an Asian style sauce. And cooked right down, then we add soys and mirins and oyster sauce, and there's a little bit of oil on top of it.
Quite
It's
thick,
just-
isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is really thick. And it's known at work as the recipe 222, which 222 sounds like Asian, whatever. I always thought it was named after some Asian thing called 222, but the actual story was there was no name for it, but it was in the recipe file on the computer as recipe 222.
Oh.
So just 222. So I don't know what the freaking thing's called, but anyway.
Just 222.
Just 222. That's Yorkshire pudding, which I made yesterday. So that's just milk, eggs, and flour.
Wow.
I love Yorkshire pudding.
Wow.
I'll tell you right now, it's been a good 10 years
Yeah.
since I've made Yorkshire pudding.
Really?
And I'm really freaking nervous about it.
Oh, yeah, you should be.
I should be.
I would just have a meal that was Yorkshire pudding. That's
I've
it.
got, look,
That's how good it is.
I've got oil in there, and there's a little bit of Wagyu fat in there too, just
Oh,
for
get
a
out.
little bit of flavour.
Forget about
And I'm
it.
heating
What?
that up now, and we'll come back to that later.
This is unbelievable.
So you go to the
Yeah.
farm every weekend?
Yeah, we live there. Well,
Yeah,
I live
right.
there with the family, so we travel up and down every week. Yeah.
And you're still cameraman?
No, gave that up. I still shoot a bit for
Yep.
for Mandolé Orchard and
Yep.
and for the boys, but no, it's solely just farm work
long
now.
time on the road.
So you started as a cameraman, you got these two guys gigs, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We, hats off to all the cameramen out there. They,
Yeah.
I mean, journalists, it's their job to always sound good,
Yeah.
but they don't always look good.
Yeah, I know.
So the good
Mate,
cameraman makes these
always
guys
look
look
good,
good.
don't
So
That's what I've always said. Look after the cameraman.
Yeah.
At the end of the series, give him a little voucher to a restaurant because next time you work with him, he'll remember you.
Yeah.
That's not
that's
what the
right.
guys were saying. The guys were saying that you treat them pretty mean.
So what's that? How many minutes is that side?
Oh, that's a couple of minutes. I want to get that nice sort of.
What?
You know,
Is that a high? Is that a high temperature?
No, I've turned it down a bit, Pete. Because if you have it, you'd start to burn all the oil in it, and you don't want it. So you want to get it nice and hot, and then just sort of just temper it a little bit, and just keep an eye on it.
And then are you going to oven that after that?
I will oven that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
And
long,
it should
how
be.
long for in the oven?
I reckon it's going to take about 15 minutes, a really hot
That's
oven,
not very long.
and then I'll let it rest for about 4 or 5 hours, and I'll eat it tonight. It'll be great.
What did you just? I just noticed you pressed it there. What are you looking for there?
I'm just pushing it down into the oil.
Oh, I thought it might have been.
No. All right, I'm just going to squash a bit of garlic and just whack that in there too, and a bit of thyme.
You don't worry about peeling the garlic, it's just for flavour.
Makes this flavour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to whack that in the oven.
That looks so good, doesn't it?
All right.
I think it was when we were growing up too, because it was kind of a big luxury to have a roast beef.
Yeah.
And so the whole Yorkshire pudding thing came about because it was like a filler. You know, apart from the other veggies, the Yorkshire pudding was a filler because we had such a small amount of beef.
Yeah.
And then it was the thing that we just most look forward to because it's actually pretty tasteless.
Yeah. But it's all about what you put with it. You know, sauces. And I'm going to make a little bit of a gravy or something.
Is that
to
a
go
raw
with it.
thing as well? That sounds like it would have been.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see if that's hot enough yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
My grandmother was into tongue, ox tongue, and all sorts of weird tripe and all those sort of dishes.
Right, they're just frying away. They're fine to go. You three, I could just imagine what you were like as kids. You're all, yeah. Was he the aggressor?
Yeah, all the time.
I was not.
Yeah, he did. He used to suffocate me underneath the doona every morning. Yeah, it was heavy.
You know what I used to find with bigger kids, older kids and bullies is just whack them straight between the eyes.
Oh, well,
The bigger the better, and then they'll just leave you alone for the rest of your life.
Man, I needed you 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We should have a nice bottle of red, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Should I go down to the cellar?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? All right, I'll come back. Mate, I couldn't find any 707, but I got something that you might like. And
Oh yeah.
tuna.
I was just kidding.
99 Grange?
I don't like it.
There is a story behind this.
Is there?
Well,
I don't know whether you know, but your mum was telling me once that she made a bolognese.
This is a story I was going to tell you.
No,
Yeah.
And
she hasn't told anyone.
She told me
Did she?
she accidentally made a bolognese with Grange Hermitage.
How did that happen?
Wow.
I don't know. Someone
What
must have
sweet
given
things did you
someone
whisper
must
to
have given it to someone. And
We couldn't afford that when we were kids.
I can reveal the story. No one
Can
knows. Yeah, I can. But I thought everyone knew about it, but obviously she's been pretty secretive about it. It's a big family thing. So she'd had this Barney rubble with Dad, and Dad had made some money with the shares before the crash in '87. So he had
Right.
6 bottles of Grange in the bottom of the wardrobe. So they had a Barney rubble, and she's cooking spaghetti. So she goes, right, I'll fix you. She had no idea about Grange. So she's gone into the cupboard, got the Grange out, and poured the whole thing into the spaghetti, and then except for a little glass for herself, and she's drinking it when Dad gets home, and he goes, hey, hey,
Yeah.
what about the wine? That's like the most expensive wine you can get in Australia. She goes, yeah, it's very nice, thank you very much, and sips it was the best spaghetti ever. That's the story about Grange.
That's a great story.
Matt, I was just thinking, this is the first time that us three boys have ever been together.
I know, I heard
and
that.
interviewed.
Yeah.
Ever. And then no one has bothered to ask. But it's nice for us to hear
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, and it's just funny that you're still ribbing each other on a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
And that's all the juices in there, yeah?
Yeah. Wow.
Did you put any oil in there?
That was
originally.
no, a little bit to start with, but it's just rendered fat. With a little bit of beef stock.
I'm not convinced these things are going to taste good.
No, they look unreal.
And a little bit.
Get out of town! What are you doing, mate? That's got to be the fake.
$400
Breaks my heart.
No!
You can now say that Matt made a gravy with grain cheese.
Oh, mate. Oh! Whoa!
Hey, there it is.
Oh!
Jesus,
That's a work of art.
Ow!
Matt's town.
have a look at that, Mum.
Oh, Mum. That's what they're supposed to look like. Oh, whoa.
Holy dooly.
Wow.
Mumsy.
Oh, mummy.
Poor mummy. Poor mummy. That is incredible.
Oh, geez, they're hot.
Oh, mate. Just whack a bit of gravy right in the middle and just...
Jeez, we're going to be fighting for
Right,
seconds
that's
on this
one.
one.
That's one
dish.
plate.
Yeah. This
Look
is
at all this stuff here.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
all
Oh,
that.
my goodness.
And I'm just going to grab that tutu sauce and just put a bit of that over the top.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Look, I just want to do this, Carl, because it's
it
really,
looks
it's really
terrific.
bugging me.
Yeah, get in there. Get that in your neck.
Doesn't look any good.
Get that in your neck.
Hear
And
the
all of a
crunch?
sudden, Brussels sprouts are back.
Eh?
No way.
That's the best Brussels sprout I've ever had.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the best Brussels sprout that I've ever had. That's fantastic.
All right. Seen this before? A little bit of salt.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, the Salt Bay. Salt Bay? Salt Bay?
Salt Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you met that guy before?
No, I haven't, but he's an interesting character.
Yes.
So we put gravy on that, don't we? Yeah. All over. And I think we just do it all over that too, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, get it in there.
That'll help, Mum.
I'm actually, my salivary glands have gone into overload.
Yeah.
All right, so a bit of gravy on that, a bit of gravy on that. That's going to go to the table, but before you go,
Yes.
just let me get rid of this. Tom, this one's for you.
This is so exciting.
Oh, wow. A bit
Mandolé.
of dessert.
Mandolé, almond milk, panna cotta.
Wow.
So what we're going to do, a couple of figs.
Oh.
So I made these last night, and I'll tell you what, they are to die for.
Did you grow those here?
I didn't grow the figs, no, but I could have.
Pete's actually very good at the fig jam.
Oh,
Wow.
Moran's beef dry age, Brussels sprouts. Thank God they worked out. Yorkshire pudding. We're going to sit over there, bring your wine, and
Yes.
let's go and eat, guys.
Yum.
All right, there you go, Pete.
Thank you, mate.
Delicious.
Go for it.
Thank you for having us.
Grange, mate,
Yeah,
pleasure.
cheers.
Thanks for coming. Three brothers, I can't believe.
Cheers.
And a bit of panna cotta later on.
Lovely.
And here is the biggest test, the Yorkshire.
Yorkshire pud.
It's
Unbelievable.
terrific. It's all good.
It's a bit crunchy on top.
Ah, that's good.
Nice and fluffy inside. Perfect.
Good?
Yeah. Really good.
Oh, thank God for that.
Nowadays, more than ever, I think that the ability to be able to create your own environment, where you, like Tom's doing what you're doing, you know exactly what's going into the food. There's love,
Yeah.
there's soul in it.
I've always said, you know, and no matter, you know, where you get it from, when you know the story about it, who's nurtured it, looked after it, you know, planted it, and they've got that beautiful romantic story behind it, like yours does, no matter what, it just always tastes better.
There's a lot of quality markets around Sydney as well, like the Carriage Works and the Northern Beaches and North Sydney markets, and they're the same. You know, you got to be the producer.
Yeah,
And,
which is really important.
And it's a good place where people can, you know, come and connect with the farmer, ask them questions about, you know, what they're, you know, how they're growing the produce, what they're using, that kind of thing, and building that rapport and building that trust. They're a great outlet.
And all the sustainability around almond farming, because they say that there's a lot of water being used, but it's not the case, is it?
No, it's not. You know, with the almond industry is incredibly motivated and innovative in you know, moving forward with sustainability. And for example, last year at Mandolé Orchard, we cut our water usage down by 30%, and that was in the last year of a drought. You know, so you know, that's adopting more, you know, state-of-the-art technology. So, for example, we got this tree monitoring system whereby we can measure the stress levels of the tree, partner that up with some drip irrigation, and we're able to measure exactly when the tree needs the water, and applying precisely how much water that it does.
How good's that?
Yeah, so it's you know, without any wastage. And also too, it's a big thing for us at Mandolé Orchard with soil rejuvenation. You know, it's important to, you know, that tree's absorbing and pulling out so much nutrients. And what we do is, you know, we apply a lot of natural bionutrients back into the soil. So keeping that sort of cycle of sustainability active and keeping that tree. And if that weren't enough, you know, you've got the trees which are, you know, being a permanent crop. They're cleaning the air in which we breathe. You know, they're converting that CO2 into oxygen and greatly reducing carbon emissions. So they're just an incredible organism that provides an incredible service to mankind. They're phenomenal. That's why, you know, Jenna and I fell in love with that when we were going back to the farm, and obviously Dean and Dennis and Annette, you know, who started the farm 17 years ago, were, you know, fell in love with that whole idea.
Do you know the thing is when you're out there and you drive past with them, they'll stop and they'll look at a tree and they'll know it needs something. And it's just all that vast experience.
It's that incredible balance. You know, you've got Dennis, who's the old school farmer who can spot something on a leaf, you know, 100 metres away and go, oh, I think that tree needs a little bit of this or that. Whereas Dean's the new school with, you know, the tree monitoring and all the computer side of things. And together they just work beautifully. You know, you can't forget the old school because it's very important. But at the same time, there's things in that new school that, you know, you need to adopt, and they work beautifully together at doing that, maintaining that the orchard.
Pete and I just talk shit for hours.
And drink his expensive wine.
There's the panna cotta. Panna cotta.
Yeah, got a little.
Don't you get it, don't you?
Really?
Tommy's got it.
We got a tradition in our family.
The Tom
whenever
cleans up
invited
everything.
to someone's place, and as a sign of respect for the cook, we collected debris.
There you go, Karl. Obviously the youngest
So that's always been
family.
mine,
These are very big panna cottas, Tom, but I'll tell
the
you
almond
what,
milk panna cotta.
can't beat it.
Oh,
There you go, mate. Look at that.
yeah. Hey, was it difficult to make the panna cotta?
No. It's
Thank you,
bloody, you know, you do it exactly the same as you would with cow's milk,
Oh, beautiful.
and you know it's healthier.
Because that's what we want to do when Annette was first creating the almond milk, because we did want to make it a one-for-one replacement for dairy for those who can't can't have dairy for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
So that's good to hear.
Absolutely. Go for it.
That's like honey.
Panna cotta.
That is delicious.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So how have you made that?
It's just been boiled up and set. A little bit of gelatin.
Is there a bit of honey in there?
honey in there?
Yeah, you know, don't give away all my secrets. If you get online, mattmoran.com.au, and you might find a recipe. Guys, great to have you. Great to have all three of you together. And Tom, great to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you too, Matt. Thank you for having us.
The number one,
Yeah.
Stefanovic.
Yeah, mate, he is. What a freaking joke.
Are you taking any grains with you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish that.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure, buddy.
Lovely to
As
see you.
always. That's it. Done.